Anxiety really pretty much shows up at the initial stage. So to give you an example, what I mean by that is I decided to do the Peachtree Road Race one year. It was my first time ever doing it, and it was my first time ever pushing my body, my adult body, to such a place, right? To where I can't remember how many actual miles. It's between like 7 and 10 miles, right? And it was very hot that day. And it was so funny because I kept looking around trying to find like the EMTs, because I just was not sure if my body was going to be able to take it, right? So we get to this portion of the course. They call it cardiac heel. And, I think it's around mile 4 when you kind of reach cardiac heel. And well, I guess it depends. Yes, it's around mile 4. So when you get to this hill, it's like mile 4, if you are not, a runner or somebody that like really works out on the regular, you are exhausted by mile 4. Okay. And so when I got there, me and one of my friends, I looked at this hill and I was like, okay, there is no way I am going to try to, go up this hill. I was just so overwhelmed. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was hot. My feet was hurting. And I was like, girl, no. So then my friend turns around and look at me and literally threw in my face, so what would you tell your clients? I said, oh, so you gonna throw that at me? So I had to really think about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be a hypocrite here. I try to live authentically. And I really had to sit and say, okay, what would I tell my clients? And what I told myself in that moment is, Tamekis, you're just nervous because you're standing at the start of it. It's all about the thoughts I was having in my head. Oh my God, I'm gonna pass out. I'm already tired. I don't know if I can keep pushing my body. Like, this is just too much for me, And so, like, for real, y'all, I was having thoughts like my heart would not be able to make it. I was just so exhausted. I just thought I would probably pass out, as soon as I start the hill. But what anxiety does, it shows up at the beginning, right? Like if this is the hill and I'm standing here, I am so nervous. Why? Because I'm looking up at this hill and I'm thinking, I can't do it. I'm going to hurt myself. I'm going to have a heart attack. My body is not strong enough. Like, all of these negative thoughts is coming in here, and it feels so real in my body. It feels so real in my mind. So I said, you know what? No. Anxiety, my negative thoughts are not real. I have already went 4 miles. I have not passed out. My legs are still working. My muscles are still moving. I can do this, is what, So I said, you know what? I will tell my clients, you're only anxious because you have not stepped in it yet. Anxiety only shows up at the beginning. It's right when you're trying to do something, trying to say something, trying to walk inside, right? Think about when you wanted to learn how to ride a bike. That first time, just even thinking about riding a bike without the training wheels was scary. Child, I'm going to bust my head open. I'm going to bust my kneecaps. Like, you just be thinking all kinds of things. I'm going to knock my teeth out. Like, all kinds of things as a child. But once you get on that bike and once you start riding and you really get the flow of it, all of that anxiety just goes away. And that's what happened to me on cardiac hill. Once I started going up that hill, by the time I got almost halfway, the anxiety was gone. I turned around and I looked back like, high five myself, girl, you did that thing. My friend looking at me like, see, I told you. And by that time, I was rolling. Like it was almost like I caught a second wind. And I think it was because I was proud of myself. And in that moment, I realized, you know what? Anxiety is one of the biggest tricks in the world. Had me horrified just what, 5 minutes ago? Now here I am in the middle of the hill, on top of the hill, conquered it, and a sister finished the race. Now, I didn't finish with one of those in 30 minutes. It took me a minute to finish that race, honey. But guess what? I finished. I didn't allow that anxiety to stop me. So for those of you who suffer from anxiety, keep in mind, I want you to really think about it. Think about all the times anxiety has crippled you with panic attacks and, just that cold, hardcore fear. All about something that haven't even happened yet. It's just in here. So I want you to work at challenging those thoughts. Sit with yourself and challenge that thought. And what that would look like is if I was standing at the bottom of that hill, like I said, you know what? I've already ran. I ain't run. I walked. Okay, I did. I kind of speed walked the race. So I've walked 4 miles already. I'm still alive. My heart is still beating fast. I haven't had to call on one of the EMTs. My muscles are still flowing. My legs have not given out. You know what I'm saying? All of those things are the truth. All of those things lived in my real live reality. Not the one that anxiety tries to have you create in your head. Our thoughts and our feelings are not always true. They're not. Think about that. Think about if you woke up one morning and you just felt like it was just going to be one of the worst days ever. Well, where's the proof? All you did was open your eyes. Where is the proof that it's going to be the worst day ever? In the moment, it isn't any. You're just feeling it. Right? So you could choose to go throughout the day looking for something to happen. Or you could tell yourself, you know what? Let me just work on utilizing my coping mechanisms. I'm going to turn on a little music. I'm going to burn a little candle as I work to get ready. And by the time you get dressed, you forgot all about the fact of, you know what I'm saying, how you was feeling when you woke up. Those feelings that you was feeling when you opened your eyes were really not real. So, at the end of the day, the truth is, anxiety is one of the biggest tricks when it comes to mental health. Stay the course. If you're not in therapy, get into some therapy. Let a therapist help you learn how to challenge those negative thoughts with some cognitive behavioral therapy, right? And possibly some exposure therapy, so that you can be able to get to a place where you can start challenging these negative thoughts that make you feel like the end is near or the worst case scenario is going to happen. Okay? Lastly, the truth is, you can definitely control that anxiety.